You may have seen images like this from ancient Chinese paintings. This combat art is one of the oldest Chinese martial arts and is known for its powerful throws and grappling techniques. But today, we are not just talking about any technique, we're focusing on something that adds a unique flair and skill to this martial art, belt cracking. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kevin Lee. So today I'm back with Sifu James Lin. I'm going to ask him a very specific question because I've seen that in footage or pictures that you guys practice a lot with the belt.
Yes.
So do you mind kind of go over what this is for and how you practice it? And what's the demonstration look like?
Yeah, so the intent of the belt cracking is to practice your athleticism for takedowns. Okay. So first of all, explosiveness. Okay. So you being able to generate a lot of power in one split in a very short amount of time. So when I crack, I want to explode.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay. Not slow. Okay. But we're trained for that explosive power.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess you can do it wrong in many different ways, right?
Well, I would say not necessarily wrong, but I would say it's not optimal.
Right. Okay.
So the reason why I say that is because when you're training, when I want to explode for a takedown, I also want to train my balance. I also want to, how do I train? Also, I want to train for how do I generate a lot of power in that short amount of time.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing I look for is that you generate all your power from your core. So for example, when I do a belt cracking, I want to generate all my power from my core, in this particular case from my waist. So it's almost kind of like using your waist, almost kind of like throwing a punch.
Oh, wow.
Your power comes from your waist.
Okay.
But it's very least not optimum if you don't use it and all you ask for is the form. This way you're not really trained to generate that power from your waist. Okay. And the other thing is balance.
Balance.
The other thing that we train using belt cracking is balance. Well, just because I explode, well, if I explode, I don't have balance afterwards, that's no good. Right? So the more power I generate, it's harder for me to maintain the balance. I could generate so much power, but that would just trip and fall. Right?
Makes sense.
So the other thing is a constant test to yourself. Where you want to generate so much power, but still try to keep that balance. Okay? So if I could stay, okay?
And stay intact with
stay intact. Because when you're throwing and you're holding on to someone, when you're trying to generate a lot of power, not only you got to be able to explode, you also got to have good balance yourself.
Correct.
Okay. And the byproduct of generating a lot of power and also staying with balance, the way we do it is kind of you also make minor adjustments.
Okay. Okay.
So what I mean by that, let's say if I do this, right? Well, when I move someone, they're going to move a little bit.
Correct.
So my body learned to adjust. So you see that, you notice a little bit of that shift, the back foot, right?
So instead of doing this, you're actually moving that back foot.
Right. So for example, if I were to move someone, right, I do this, but now my body's a little bit out of position. Not if I move the back foot. Now my angle is perfect, right? So this drill helps you multiple things, but the primary thing is to be able to be able to generate a lot of power all in one time, to balance, and also you got to make those minor adjustments. That's going to come into play when you actually using applications.
Wow. And is there a form that you teach to the belt cracking?
Yes.
Okay.
So
can we see that real quick?
There's multiple forms, but the two basic one is always going to be our horse stance, right? Where you just your feet a little bit wider than your shoulder.
Okay.
All you do is go from one side to the next, okay? And you want to have your hand about shoulder height, okay? When you go from one side to the other, and you want to come in small and big, okay? Like that.
Like that.
Right? Ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. So a lot of people pay attention to the crack, but I also pay attention when you stop. The reason is when I stop, I want to keep tension. Also, the belt has a lot of tension. Also, this is in tension and this is in tension.
Okay, that I can feel that this is all firing up.
Right. Why is that? Because when I hold someone, I'm keeping tension.
Oh.
So when I'm holding someone, that's if I use this, even without the gi, with the gi is here, without the gi, I'm keeping tension. I'm pressuring, right? I'm using my waist again. Okay? And why do I also emphasize bringing this hand in? Without gi, I like to trap. The more you do this, the more just instinctively you just know how to move and how to control your opponent better.
So instead of crack and relax your arm, you
That's
hold
correct.
it.
The whole time. That's the thing. People just watch the steps because I want to get to step 1 and 2. But for me, it's the entire process the whole time. I'm constantly in continuity and pressing all the time.
Wow.
Not only when I move and when I'm also stationary.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than where I have seen other places have done it.
So instead of focus on just the middle section where you crack the bell, you're holding that within tension. And then you do the same thing. Here, you still hold that tension.
Right.
Wow.
If you practice with breaks in between, that means you have holes when you actually use it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So that's the first step. You go from side to side.
Side to side. Right.
Okay.
So you could also, the second fundamental steps is the arrow stance.
The arrow stance.
Right. So we mentioned that, we have horse stance. Horse stance is strong left and right.
Correct.
So you're strong left and right, but you're weak front and back. Arrow stance is strong front and back, but you're weak side to side.
Side to side, correct.
Right. So almost, I wouldn't say all, but almost every moves that we do always have those two steps. So to do the belt cracking arrow stance, you take a step.
Oh, wow.
1. Right. And still in tension, right?
Yeah.
If you can't bring it to your waist.
Oh.
Okay. 2. 1. 2.
Oh, man, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are the 2 fundamental steps.
That's a workout.
Yeah.
Just holding that tension right there, it's like, I'm feeling this.
Right.
Like firing up.
Right. For me, that's a defensive and an offensive position. So if I am belt cracking here, I basically could move someone like this. Okay. Well, why does this matter? Why do I keep tension here?
Yeah, why is that?
Well, first of all, I want to keep distance in case they want to grab my waist.
Oh.
Right? A lot of times when you do throws over, you're exposing your back.
Correct.
Well, not if I cross it around your waist. I mean, across your chest.
Oh.
Right? And 2, I'm pressing here.
Yeah, I can.
Now I'm going to see what you're going to do. If you put weight on this side, I'm going to attack this side. If you put weight on that side, I'm going to reverse it. Right.
So you kind of see their reaction, so you can have appropriate response.
I would feel their reaction.
Feel the action.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm always pressuring. I'm always feeling. Okay.
Okay. So that's the first 2 steps. Hoist stance and then arrow stance.
Yeah. There's probably I would say about 10-ish something belt cracking.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not just, but those are the 2 fundamental ones.
Okay.
Right.
So what's the point of, when you coming down, what's the point of being the hand together? Because you did this and this.
Right.
Okay.
So a lot of times in grappling, you have to go from small to explode, right?
Oh.
So let's say here. Well, if I want to throw you over here, I have to bring my hands together, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So sometimes your hands have to go together, right? Or here, drag someone down, right?
Oh.
Right. Go from small to big, but into tension, right?
That makes sense. Okay, so that's why you're mimicking the same thing, going from here to here.
Yeah, well, you need distance to generate that power, right? So if you go from here to here, it's a little bit hard to
That
generate
makes sense
that power.
now.
Right?
Wow. And so how would you apply this with a human body? Just how about this type of stuff?
Just exactly how I just showed you. Like
Okay.
for this move, it's here, right? Now,
Oh, wow.
right? I could hook, like this, right? Or I could turn.
Wow.
Okay, so everything initiated from the arrow stance. Remember, I started in this position, arrow stance. Right? So now that I'm in arrow stance, I have options.
Oh.
Right? Now I could go from arrow stance back to a different arrow stance.
That's
Right.
cool.
So this is a fundamental step where I'm in good position, I'm pressuring someone, then I look for my options.
Oh.
So I wouldn't say this is one move for a takedown. I would say this is a fundamental step that leads to all the fundamentals, basics of all the takedowns.
Oh. So without a partner, this will be a drill that you can practice.
Yes.
And so be able to train that muscle.
Also
tension.
your grip work, right?
Grip work.
Yeah,
Okay.
so also train your forearms, right?
Oh.
Now, one example would be like, if you want to talk about a specific belt cracking drills for takedowns, we could, do example of forward kick.
Forward kick.
Right, so the drill looks like this. 1, 2, 3.
That's cool.
Okay? So the drill is 1, okay? If I move someone, if that foot is in the front, right? 2.
Oh! Nice.
Right? So this practice holding someone, kick and drag them down.
So you keep attention, and as
keep
you kick,
attention.
you pull.
Right. So this is practicing that being able to explode and still stay in balance. Right? So if I kick,
That's quick.
I want to be able to stay in balance. But there's a moment before I kick, I gotta explode. I gotta kick, explode to kick, and I gotta explode to drag you down. Right? So 1, 2, using the belt.
Then you turn.
Right, turn.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about earlier that you do your belt cracking different. So I'm just gonna say it's because your focus intention where it begins, how it goes, and where it ends.
I would say I stress a couple of things. One is everything comes from the core. Right? I don't want to just end up with a form that looks like the end. So I don't want to do this. I want to initiate everything on the core. I come from the waist, generate that power from the waist. My power is going to have to come from the core. And then 2, the thing that I stress is constant tension.
Constant tension.
So which translates to continuity and pressure.
Oh.
So I'm starting from here. I'm still tensed up. Everything in tension. Even from this point, everything in tension.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, this is a lot of power that comes from the turning.
Right. And the turning is gonna, because people aren't gonna just stay still like this.
Correct.
They're gonna be moving. When I'm turning, I'm also circling a little bit.
So you're always making that micro adjustment.
Yes, that's right. Wow. But if it doesn't come from the waist, you're not making as much adjustment because you're just going front and back.
Then you just practice the form.
You just practice the form. You're not used to that micro adjustment that you have to make in real life.
Earlier today, before the video, you were talking about keeping the tension the whole time when you grapple with a guy. So you're never at the one point you grab and you sort of like relaxes.
Right.
You're keeping that. I forgot the word that you use. There is like, I guess your intention was on the whole time. Versus, because I did my grappling tournament maybe 2 years ago. I was trying to take down the guy, but I guess when I was holding on to his gi, I was like this. There was no connection.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when I go for my throw, he started counting me just by pushing his hip back.
Right.
And we'll talk about during that small time frame, he's able to counter me.
Right.
And that's because I didn't have enough tension.
Right. So whether or not you have gi or not, let's just talk about gi.
Yes.
So you could tell by someone holding the opponent whether or not they have slack.
Yeah, slack. That's
right. The problem with slack is that when you do something, there's a split second you gotta. At the end of the day, for grappling, you want to move someone.
Correct.
Right. So there's a little bit of a time where that slack will tighten up, so you could throw someone. Well, that split second of time gives your opponent reaction time.
Correct.
Right. So they know a little bit ahead before they actually their weight is being threatened, or their center of mass being threatened.
Yes.
So that's why a good grappler with a gi, you could tell just right away with their grip. The reason why they hold higher is because they could get rid of that slack right away.
That's cool.
Right? So
now there's a tension
when I'm gonna do something, you don't get that split second of earlier detection. It's just right away.
That's quick.
Okay? So
wow.
That little bit of slack makes a big difference.
So how do you train like that to have almost zero telegraphic motion?
It just have to be a constant practice with partners. And also belt cracking does help because you learn to keep everything in tension. Right? Because if you feel like you don't have tension on someone, don't do the move because then your opponent will know ahead of time, right? So that constant practice of always pressuring and intention, that has to come automatic to your feel.
That makes sense because you're keeping that tension right here the whole time.
Right, the whole time.
Do you mind show me that technique because you did it so fast and I couldn't see it coming. So,
Which one?
And I think in judo we call this tai toshi, which is like a trip that you just did.
Okay. In Chinese, it's called 偏门别. It's a side break in our translation. So you could do it. Basically, it's a cross hold. Okay. Turn and then
Do this angles.
Sure.
Sorry.
Turn and then into your arrow stance.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna do it fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So,
quick.
and then there's also a lot of time you could also throw it overhead. We actually did this yesterday. So I'm actually going to punch up where I'm going to go low.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay. So it depends on your opponent. You could go overhead. You could go sideways.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I learned a
problem.
lot today, and I hope you guys love and enjoy the video today. If any questions, I'm going to leave some information below. And hopefully that we can host your seminar soon.
Sure.
I would love to have him. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.